how's it going? I hope you're having a fantastic day. As you can see, I have myself a very cheap but better than nothing microphone. I was gonna buy myself one of those ridiculous little mini ones, but my partner got a new one, so I get the old one. That is not what this is about, though. That is not what this video is about. This is not the point of this video. I know that the visual quality of this is not fantastic, but that's because I haven't quite figured out how to have this microphone use the camera I want it to use without a whole lot of editing, so we will figure that out as we go. But for this video in particular, I am going to be showing you some of my fidget toys. I think it's kind of become trendy in the last few years to own fidget toys and to use them, but I have loved stuff like that since I was a kid. Unfortunately, I don't all have all of mine with me here. A lot of them are my family home, but what I have I will show you, and maybe if this does okay, I will do another video with them. So yeah, we're going to start with one that I always considered a fidget toy, but I guess not everyone does. Not in the not in the traditional sense, I'm not sure. And that is my Rubik's Cube. Now I am what I can only describe as awful at solving Rubik's Cubes. My partner's really good at it. I know there's like an app that you can get that like you can put in all the colours and it will tell you how to solve it and stuff, but that just kind of scares me a little bit. Now I think that these are a more visually stimulating fidget toy, because some fidget toys, like actually the rest of the ones I have, not that they're visually bad, but that's kind of not what I use them for, whereas this you kind of have to be paying attention. If you're looking away and just kind of doing this, if you're actually clicking it through, unless you have it memorized, you could very easily get yourself in quite a pickle. So my thing is that unless I'm making a point of messing up so I can learn to solve it again, then I will just play around with a little bit, like this. Just do little bits at a time. And be like, oh look, the sides are opposites now. Oh, isn't that fun? That it's got a little streak through it, or whatever. Because I hate when things are messy. I've just always found them so satisfying though. Now this is not my childhood fidget Rubik's Cube. This is one I got a few years back, but not that long ago now. The one I had when I was a kid, now that was a nightmare. I got so frustrated because I couldn't solve it and I couldn't figure out how, and I kept watching like YouTube tutorials being like on how to solve it, and I would just do what they asked or do what they said, and then it would just end up worse, or I would have messed up somewhere and I couldn't figure out how to fix it from there because I didn't know there were apps. And I didn't know how to go to the hyper-specific point that I was at. I would never do this now, but I got all of the stickers and I moved them all to all be on the right sides. And the funny thing about that is, because I didn't understand that, so with the Rubik's Cube, these center squares are always going to be in the same place. Like, you cannot actually move them because they are part of the center of it and everything else just moves around them, right? Even if it's like, oh yeah, I'm totally moving this, it's like, no, you're actually moving this instead of you know. But I didn't understand that, so they weren't even the colors. I didn't even finish it properly because they wouldn't all stick back on. I had to use like PVA glue and it was awful, and I didn't even put them all on the right sides. So when I say the middle is all the same, white is always going to be, the white one with the Rubik's on it is going to be on the front, and there's always going to be like a green above that and the yellow behind it and the blue underneath and the red on the right and the orange on the left. But I didn't understand that. So I just moved them all to where they were closest, and excuse me, and I don't know how I managed, but it just wasn't good. It wasn't good. My parents were mad too. They didn't like shout at me, but they were just like, oh, for goodness sake, because they'd bought me it. It was a gift. Another kind of fidget toy thing I had at that kind of age that I would not put in a YouTube video on, certainly not in an ASMR video because it's very loud, but I thought I would mention, is a bop it. It feels very quintessentially my childhood. These two things very much were a part of my childhood in that way, because obviously I'm young, but I grew up in when the internet was kind of becoming what it is now. And I didn't have a lot of toys. When I was really young, I had lots of toys, but as we got older, in the age where people would still have been having toys, there weren't a whole lot. It was like, my option was like Nerf guns. But I kind of went to all the puzzle. Pop It's not a puzzle, it's a challenge, but I kind of went to that kind of type of game. But yeah, it's this is way more chatty than I intended it to be, but I suppose that makes sense given everything. Right. I think that's enough of that. Okay. I'm gonna shout out here something that I thought I had nearby. Oh no, I didn't. Something that is absolutely not inherently a fidget, however, it is something I fidget with a lot, which is clicky pens. I was a perfect goody two-shoes, like proper boffin student, right? However, I would just sit like this in the back of the class. I was a good student. That was good enough that I didn't need to be kept an eye on, so I got away with sitting right at the back of the class, which is always what I wanted, because sitting right at the front means you're often made an example out of, and I didn't want that. So I would sit right at the back of the class, just clicking my pen. Not that constantly, but sit at the back of my class, clicking my pen. And because I was at the back, the teacher wouldn't be able to hear it really loudly, because I was in classes that had rowdy students in them. But there's something so satisfying about just, this pen is, let's see, this is a big soft feel in medium, which I assume is the like how thick the pen bit, the nib, is that what it's called? I think that might only be with calligraphy pens, the ballpoint, how thick it is, how thick the bit that writes is. thing. I also really like pens. I also really love, let's see if I can find one. I have my pencil case here, which little show off I get. This beautiful pencil case is from Waterstones, if you're wondering. Cavallini and Co. is the name of the people who actually make this, but it's stocked in Waterstones. Let's see if I can find the one I'm looking for. Maybe not, because I always end up taking them out. The pen that I'm looking for tends to be the one I always reach for, which makes me think it might not be in here. No, I don't think so. That's annoying. I'll also say that I absolutely hate these pens. I would fidget with these too, but they were nowhere near as fun. You can kind of be quieter, but they're not as good. But the other pens I like are very similar to these. They are paper chases. Paper Chase sadly now closing. They're sort of soft. I can't remember what they're actually called. They're just like, they tend to come in packs of like 5, and they'll have different sort of pastel coloured on the outside, but they're all blue. But they look very similar to this. I like pens with, I don't know if you can tell, but this is a sort of matte, soft plastic, if you will. And that's always, if you're wondering how I hold my pen, because everyone writes differently. It's very similar to this. I like pens that are thin, and I like pens that have grip via just being soft and not specific. This does have a specific like grip part, which I don't hate, but the texture isn't different. I find issue with a lot of Bics. You know how they have the thicker ones that are multicolored? They have like the ones that are, I should have one nearby actually, but you know, the common ones are like, it's black, blue, green and red, and they're just really chunky, and then they have like sort of shiny plastic all the way up, and then on the grip it's soft plastic or rubber. I can't do it. These are similarly textured enough that I can get away with it, but because of the way I hold my pen, I rest my fingers all the way like further up so that I'm on the bit that's the grip and the bit that isn't as well. And I just hate feeling different. I don't know. That's maybe weird, but don't know why I did a full Kubrick stare at you there. I'm so sorry. Anyway, honourable mention over. I now have 3, technically 4 more, but one of them is just the same thing twice. Okay, this is a slightly noisier one. This is an articulated slug. These are not very good for, these are not very good if you want to be quiet, I will say that. They are very fun, and I love the noise they make though. I understand why people may have issues with them. I've heard many people saying they're a little phallic for them, but it's like, it's a slug, bro, that's your problem. I got a rainbow one. This is from this specific one. They're everywhere now, but I think this one was from The Works, if I remember rightly, which is a, if you don't know, a like crafts, books, kids toy stuff shop in Scotland, in the UK, but in Scotland. There's like a kids shop, but they also have books and like fidget toys and like colouring and craft stuff. They're kind of more craft, I guess, than anything else. They're like a craft store, but they have lots of different stuff. You also get really small versions of these. They're like that size, and I think they're so cute. I do not need one because I don't actually, I'm going to be honest, I don't use this very much. I just like having it. Like, it just sits up on my shelf a lot of the time. But every now and again I'll just be like, really aggressively, which I'm not going to do because I don't want to kill your ears. But yeah, I think the articulated ones are cool. I've seen dragons too, which I would love. I would love an articulated dragon. I love dragons and dinosaurs, and when I was a kid, it was probably my first obsession was dinosaurs, like a lot of children, but I was really into dinosaurs as a kid. That's that one. I feel like I spent so long on the Rubik's Cube, I need to like get a move on with everything else. Okay, next we have something that is very different sounding, which is I have these little keyring squishmallows. This one is, oh my goodness, it makes me sad that on the actual tag you don't get the character names, because I do not remember this creature's name. I do remember that I love them though. The cutest little, is it a, it's not a shark, it's like a narwhal or something. I think narwhal makes sense because narwhals are like the, you know, Gesundheit. They're like the unicorns of the sea or whatever, right? But when I say fidget, obviously this isn't specifically fidget. I do have normal size ones too. I have one nearby. Like I have lots of actual squishmallows as well, like normal size ones. I love them. I hug one to sleep most nights, to be honest. But I have a couple of these. I have another one of these to show you, which is what I meant when I said 3/4. But what I was going to say was, obviously it's not a fidget toy in the typical sense, but I use it kind of as a stress ball sometimes. I have these both sitting on my desk, so whenever I'm doing work, like uni work or doing tutoring or whatever else, because that is something I do as well as tutoring, I just, if I'm frustrated or I just want to squeeze something, because I don't have like a squeezy stress ball, or like I'd really like one of the ones that has the ones that have like Orbeez beads in them that are just plastic. They're really common. I don't know why I haven't ever just bought one. They used to be really common when I was a kid. The ones that were like that had the nets around them, so they would go through the nets. And I didn't like those because I didn't like the net thing. But maybe if it's just the silicone, I would enjoy it. But anyway. These are actually key rings. The fact that I don't have one on my keys is a little bit of a crime. But neither of these are particular. I maybe put the normal one, because the other one I've got is an avocado. And it's very cute. It's very cute. I do not remember the name of the avocado. But I don't know. I don't want an avocado on my keys. But I'll maybe put the other one on. Or maybe I'll ask my partner to get me a little one that I really want. Speaking of squishmallows that I want, there's a shop nearby-ish me that sells squishmallows. It's in The Entertainer, which is another similar kind of shop, but it more is kids' toys. And they sell loads of squishmallows, and one of them is the R2-D2 squishmallow. Now, I don't know if this is something that the internet knows about me. I mean, it's a very common interest, but I really like Star Wars. Okay, I'm a very big fan of Star Wars. I'm specifically, I know, on the prequels, and Clone Wars, but I love R2, and I would really love an R2 squishmallow. I see the BB-8s so commonly, and it's like, I think it's the BB-8s I see more often. In like other Squishmallows, in other like plushies and stuff. And it's like, I don't want BB-8. I don't care about the sequels. I care about R2. Or even like if they ever made like an R5, that would work for me too. I love R2 though. But yeah, he has his pit, which is makes some good noises, I think. Yeah, that was my little Squishmallows. You know what, we're gonna... The friends now. My partner, this is really cute actually, has a couple. One of them's a lemon and one of them's a lime. Or one of them's an orange and a lime, and they're both hooked together, and I think it's very cute. Okay, the last one I have is not very loud either, or it can be. This one I do actually have another version of on my keys, and that is a tangle. Now if you don't want to know what this is, it's essentially lots of different interlocked plastic kind of just pieces that can all twist independently and together. And it's just very fun. You can like, what I often end up doing is I'll be sitting and I'll end up wrapping it around my finger, because you can do that, like that. This one I actually think has a piece missing. Yeah. But that's okay. The one on my keys is purple and blue, and it does not have a piece missing. This is just, I got 2 tangles because there was a deal for like a bunch of fidget toys in a Home Bargains, I think, of all places, that I was in, and I was just like, well, I'm not just gonna get one. Oh, and yeah, you can pop it off and then just have it be one long situation, which if I'm ever stressed, that is great. I'm so sorry I bumped you again. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry about any background noise too. I have roommates. And then if you split it off, it sits like all rung together even more perfectly. But yeah, I think that's all I got today, folks. I know it's been slightly longer between this upload and the last one. Sometimes it's very tough to get that back together. But I promise you, I feel like exam season's a good enough reason for that. I've been very busy with my exams. But it is lovely to be back, and hopefully with some slightly better audio quality, even if the visual quality is not as good, but I think audio is better, or more important anyway. But yeah, I hope you sleep well. Hope you sleep well. I hope you have a fantastic night's rest. You deserve a good night's sleep. And if you're just chilling, trying to stay calm, I hope you get to take a gosh darn break from life. It's been a rough one this little while. You deserve good things, and I care about you.